Oh, hey, welcome back, and thank you for tuning in my channel. So today I'm going to be reviewing and rating and giving facts on Batman 1989, featuring Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, Billy D. Williams, and the most beautiful Kim Basinger. So this movie was Tim Burton's first major motion picture. He was extremely nervous. He thought he was going to do an epic failure, especially bringing something as such as a comic book to the big screen. But, as history shows, he did a fantastic job. Actually, when this movie was finished, he thought he did a bad job. He watched it and he was like, man, this is a boring movie. But as years went on, he watched it and he's like, I did a really great job on this. And it jump-started his career. His works on Batman and Batman Forever totally skyrocketed his career. That led to Nightmare Before Christmas, James and the Giant Peach, Corpse Bride, Alice in Wonderland, and the sequel, and a whole bunch of other films that he was involved with. Sweeney Todd, all that shit. But this, I believe, is his greatest work. It is his most honest, greatest work. It's a fantastic movie, especially for its time. Nowadays, if you took a kid now and showed him this, he'd probably think it's laughable compared to like Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. But this movie actually won an Oscar for Best Art Direction. Okay, it's Best Art Direction, but still, it won a freaking Oscar. Can you say that about any Marvel movie? I don't think so, really. Actually, let me think about it hard. Let me think really, 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 really hard. I think Suicide Squad did. Oh, wait. That's DC. Oh, shit. Yeah, so fuck Marvel. Anyways, Marvel's okay. But, okay, I digress. But, yeah, this movie held the box office record at $60 million for a DC comic adaptation until The Dark Knight came out, which, once again, is fantastic. But, yes, this movie is fantastic, and I can't wait to go on this ride because it's a great movie. And if you've never seen it, then it's worth a watch because it literally started everything. Like, this gave, Fox and Disney and all these other freaking executives these ideas of buying up comic revenue and making movies out of it. And it was extremely hard at the time because after Batman came out, pretty much the only thing was Batman. And then Superman Returns came out, and it wasn't until early 2000s that Fox came out with X-Men. Oh, wait, actually, I should say Blade. Blade started the whole Marvel trend, but X-Men is what really skyrocketed it. But I'll talk about that in a later video. Let's get on with this ride, and I hope you enjoy it. Let's go. The movie opens up on Gotham City, where crime is running rampant and is at an all-time high, where the police are not enough, and Gotham needs more than just a man. I'm Batman. Gotham Gazette reporter Knox is the only one that believes that the Batman exists, until Vicky Vale comes in and shows her interest. Knox and Vale decide to attend a party at Bruce Wayne's, where Vicky Vale quickly catches the eye of Bruce Wayne. Okay, so some facts about the actor and this whole sequence. So nowadays you can petition just by giving a click, right? Well, back then, a lot of people did not like the fact that they chose Michael Keaton to play Batman. A lot of people. 50,000 people mailed in requests, petitions to change the actor. Even the creators of Batman, Bob Kane, were like, no, this probably won't work out. But it did. Michael Keaton did a great job as both Batman and Bruce Wayne, portraying both, which is strange and amazing because Michael Keaton's a stand-up comedian. He's usually only played in comedies, and that's why everybody was worried. But he did a fantastic and beautiful job. And to me, in my generation, Michael Keaton is Batman. Yes, Christian Bale did a great job. And I'm even a fan of Batfleck. Not in Batman vs. Superman, but in Justice League. He did a great job portraying Bruce Wayne and even Batman and his morals. Really great job. I wish they would have continued and that he would have continued playing Batman. But probably won't see it ever, unfortunately. But anyways, and yes, Kevin Conroy is the Batman for all you sticklers fucking out there. talking shit. Yes. But anyways, and also in the scene where the guy asks, "What are you?" and he goes, "I'm Batman." That was actually improvised. That was changed while filming by Michael Keaton. The original line was, which sounds stupid, he was supposed to say, "I am the Knight." That would have been pretty fucking dumb. But he changed it to, "I'm Batman." And then once that whole scene was done filming, Tim Burton asked him, "Why'd you change that?" He says, "I thought it sounded cooler, and it makes more sense." And he's like, "Okay, it does." And they continued filming. So, right there, Michael Keaton is Batman. And also, in that scene where you see Knox in the newspaper place, whatever the fuck. Anyways. And the guy gives him that little drawing of a bat in a suit. And at the bottom, it's signed by Bob Kane. Bob Kane is the co-creator of Batman. There would be no Batman without Bob Kane. Rest in peace. But there's some little facts on that. Let's get on with this movie. Meanwhile, a man by the name of Jack Napier is conducting industrial espionage at Ace Chemicals until he realizes that he's been betrayed. As the GCPD show up, Jack Napier attempts to assassinate Commissioner Gordon until Batman interferes with his plan. Batman tries to save Napier from falling into the acid, but ultimately, Jack Napier is disfigured. Okay, so facts on the character Jack Napier. In the movie, he exists. In DC Comics, he does not exist. Jack Napier in the movie becomes the Joker. But in the comics, the Joker has never been given an origin. Nobody knows his real name. And yes, Batman is the greatest detective, but yet he still does not know Joker's origin. And inside the movie Joker, Joaquin Phoenix, his name is Arthur Fleck. But that was completely made up, and so is Jack Napier, just for creative purposes and to move the story along. It's that neither are his origin. He has no origin. It's never been given, which is insane. And it just makes you think, like, who is this person in real life? Even in the animated movie, I think like the Phantom Mask. It shows Joker before he became Joker, but yet still no name. But that's one thing that I liked about Tim Burton. He was the first person to give the Joker an origin a little bit. Like, not too deep of an origin, but still a name at least, which was very creative and very ambitious because you would think that would piss people off, but people actually ate that shit up. So there's a little fact about that character. Let's get back to the movie. Having surviving his fall, Jack confronts the man who betrayed him and reveals himself to be the Joker. He kills his old boss and then realizes that the people of Gotham were more afraid of the vigilante Batman. Okay, so obviously anyone that's seen this movie knows that Jack Napier, played by Jack Nicholson, becomes the Joker, correct? And he's the first Joker to be on the big screen. Well, I bet what you didn't know is that when they first approached Jack Nicholson to play the Joker, he had no interest because he thought this movie was going to, tank because it's a comic book adapting into a movie. And the only time that ever succeeded was with Superman and Christopher Reeves. But that was way ahead of its time, and that was in the 70s. This is the late 80s, turn of the century, getting close to turn of the century, the 90s, and he thought it was just going to fail. So he's like, I don't want any part of it. So WB, Warner Brothers, goes to Robin Williams, of all people, Robin Williams, and talks to him about the part. Robin Williams accepts the part. After accepting the part, WB goes back to Jack Nicholson and is like, okay, we're going to offer you this one more time. If you don't take it, we already have Robin Williams to take the part. And he's like, nah, fuck that. I'm taking the part. So they call Robin Williams up and tell him that he's no longer going to be the Joker and they're going to go back with Jack Nicholson. After this, Robin Williams didn't do business with WB for years until they gave him an apology. Like an actual, like the CEOs apologized to him, which is crazy. Could you imagine this being played by Robin Williams? Now, granted, he's a funny guy and a great method actor, but I mean, as a psycho, like a psychotic man killing people, I don't know. He's always portrayed as a family dude. I think that kind of would hurt his reputation, maybe? I don't know. I just really could not see it. Can you? Let me know in the comments, like, what would you think if Robin Williams became the Joker? Rest in peace, Robin Williams, though. Let's get out the movie. The Joker then decides to make the decision to wipe out all of the crime bosses of Gotham. Then he sets his eyes on the beautiful Vicky Vale and decides to set up a meeting with her, to speak with her, and show his feelings with her at Gotham's very own Museum of Modern Art. So you're probably wondering why the Joker told Bob to spare that painting. Well, that painting is from Francis Bacon, and it's from 1954, and it's called The Figure with Meat. And what the figure is a nobleman in a butchery. So it's this powerful figure in a vulnerable state. And it's supposed to say that, like, he entered this vulnerable state, he became weak and scared, but ultimately, in the story of the painting, he comes out of it more powerful. So the Joker was originally Jack Napier underneath this mob boss who was powerful, but then he got into a weakened state, which when he was betrayed and fell into the acid. And then he came out of the acid and became the Joker, and then ended up taking over Gotham, took over all the crime lords and systematically wiped them out, and he's controlling all the crime in Gotham. So I think he just had like a personal connection to it. There's never been an actual explanation of why Tim Burton decided to do this in the movie, but that's just what I think. But I mean, what do you think? Why did he decide to spare that specific painting? Do you think it was just for the screenplay, to move the painting along, to give him personality, or to show that he's humane? Or do you think he really had a connection with that specific painting and its story? Let me know in the comments. Let's get on with the movie. The Joker has an uncomfortable conversation with Vicky Vale. Batman decides to intervene. Batman takes Vicky Vale and escapes the museum, and they get in the Batmobile to make a quick escape. Okay, so a little facts about the Batmobile. The Batmobile, sorry Ford guys, is a Chevy. Yes, the Batmobile is actually a Chevy Impala. And the jet on the back, the jet turbine, is an actual fucking jet turbine off of a Harrier jet. They also took the tail lights of a Ferrari and the headlights of a Honda Civic. But ultimately, the Batmobile is a Chevy. So if you didn't know that, that's a little information for you. I know there's probably Ford people out here. It's a Chevy, bruh. So if Ford don't got no fucking Batmobile, I'm sorry, Chevy better. Let's get on with the movie. The next day, Joker goes on public television, announcing to the citizens of Gotham that he will dump $20 million in cash at the parade to gain the favor of the citizens. Also informs them that there will be entertainment, and calls out Batman for a fight. He lives up to his promise at the parade and dumps $20 million worth of cash to the crowd. The crowd goes wild and loves the Joker. Okay, so in this sequence, while he's throwing the money and everyone's going wild, there was a scene that was written, two scenes that were written but weren't used. One of the scenes was that, if you notice during that whole scene, there's no cops, which you would think, why are there no cops? The Joker's there. Shouldn't there be cops? Well, there was a scene written that Joker poisoned all the police officers with like a non-lethal poison, basically just to make them sick so they wouldn't show up. It wasn't used. Probably should have been used, because if you like actually look into a movie, you're like, why are the cops? Where are they at, right? I mean, you don't see Commissioner Gordon anymore or nothing. Also, if you revert back to when Joker was talking to Vicky Vale at the museum, she says, what do you want? And he says, my face on the $1 bill. Well, there was a scene written that after everybody's going crazy and shit and getting all this money, they look at it and it's counterfeit, it's fake, it has his face on it. That would have been cool to use just to connect with what he said earlier, and because, after when he was at the museum, he also points at the painting of George Washington. He's like, the $1 bill. And then later on, he's like, I want my face on the $1 bill. And it'd be cool to see that he counterfeited $20 million worth of cash with his face on it. That would have been cool to see. Let's finish this movie up. While the citizens of Gotham frantically run to pick up the Joker's money, he releases his Smileless gas in an attempt to kill all the citizens of Gotham. Batman flies in on the Batwing and takes his balloons away. He makes a turnaround and heads straight to Joker for a final confrontation. Being Batman and having his code to not kill, he cannot do this. Joker takes advantage and one shot disables the Batwing as it crashes at the cathedral. So, if the sequence looks familiar to those that have seen The Dark Knight, when Christian Bale's Batman meets up with Heath Ledger's Joker and he's writing the Bat Cycle at him, he's like, come on, I want you to do it. That is a nod. He got that idea from this. And it's a classic scene, and I honestly didn't realize it until I watched it again. And I was like, oh, shit. So this Batman did that first, but with a Batwing. And I thought that was just really, really cool, because he's like, come on, come at me. And then he did the same thing in The Dark Knight. That was very slick. I think that's very cool. But anyways, if you've seen this movie, you know how it ends. If you haven't seen this movie, I mean, you could probably guess how it ends. It's a superhero movie, but maybe not exactly how it ends or how it turns out. So if you've seen the movie, drop in the comments what you liked about Batman, what you didn't like about it, and your favorite scene. If you haven't seen it, go watch it, because it's a classic and it's great. A little corny, but it's great. And come back here, drop in the comments what you liked about it, didn't like about it, and your favorite scene. Tim Burton did a great job. Freaking great movie. It's a classic, timeless classic. I'm giving Batman a 10 out of 10 because it's just that good, and there's things that are corny about it, but there's nothing wrong about it. You know, like, he did everything right, especially for that time. So I'm probably going to continue with the rest of the Batmans, the originals. Maybe, probably. But until then, see ya.